Hey guys, so okay, welcome back to The Letter. Continuing Ashton's chapter here with Isabella as well by our side. We're in the Ermengarde Mansion trying to stop this curse once and for all. Here we go. She pauses abruptly right in the doorway that I almost run into her. A look of confusion's in her as she looks wildly around the place, wordlessly taking in her surroundings. With each turn and shift of her eyes, her shoulder only grows tenser, and a look of apprehension slowly dawns on her.
Isabella, what are you...
We aren't supposed to be here.
Sure enough, when I look up, we're standing right in the kitchen, pots, pans, and all. Oh, God. Oh, in one corner, Zach watches almost as surprised to see us. Oh, why did you come? Why is everyone here? McCullough's also with them. Of course, she didn't listen to me even if I've already exceeded the 15 minutes we've agreed on. Although, colour and strength seems to have already returned to her, enough for her to be able to stand unassisted. The empty plate on the counter appears to have played a part in that. See, she took our suggestion. Good news, I guess. As for the other one, however, relieved as I am that he has had the sense to wait and not venture deeper into the mansion, I can't keep but roll my eyes at him.
Zach, I said 4 hours.
I know, but Isabella asked and... Come on, bro, you know I ain't a very good liar.
Well, man, 15 minutes for McCullough, 4 hours for Zach. You guys gotta stick to your time limits.
And it didn't even occur to you to stop her?
I tried, alright? Even G. She was out the door before I could say anything.
And how did you guys even get in here?
That's a good question. Both of them exchange a look, one that I absolutely don't like. In the end, it's Isabella who speaks up, albeit with a bit of hesitation.
We heard someone scream, Ash. It led us here.
You heard it from the bar? Or were you, like, on the mansion grounds when you heard that? Oh, fuck. Without warning, the door behind us slams shut.
We need to get out of here.
Screw Wright. I need to get these people out of here. Lucky we're in the kitchen and we have 2 ways out. The back door and the cellar office. Except the hatch won't budge when I pull at it, and neither does the back door, as if something has locked it firmly on the other side. Zach also gives it a few tries, but even with the big guy's strength it won't open. There's a long bout of silence in which we all simply look at each other, likely sharing the same thoughts. We're trapped. Something or someone has intentionally led us here. Fuck! In that same moment, once realization dawns in, something shifts again. Blood. Oh, great. Now we're right where it wants us. Journal entry, journal entry, journal entry. What's going on? We're getting so many here. Together, Ashton and Isabella carefully made their way downstairs. However, instead of a hallway, the kitchen greeted them instead. Yeah, that was confusing, wasn't it? I was wondering why we ended up in the kitchen in the first place. Before they could understand what was happening, it slammed shut behind them, and the whole mansion had started to shift. In every nook and cranny, over every surface, and in every inch of the floor. This time, unlike the first one I've seen, it remains, and gradually, the whole room begins to reek of that familiar metallic scent. Sharp, suffocating. Around us, every object, including the cupboards, have started to rattle as well. The sounds from outside, foreboding rumble of thunder, and even the howling winds have begun to fade away, replaced by whispers, shouts, and cries of pain. Though inaudible, each beat and note bombards every crevice of my head with vague images and sounds. There's no time to make sense of everything, however. I'm already shouting, fueled purely by adrenaline, barking orders and making a break for the door that leads to the next room, the dining. It should take us straight to the foyer where the main door is.
Move! Run!
Right in front of us, the mansion has started to change, and we're in the thick of it. However, instead of the dining room, like it's supposed to open to, the bedroom welcomes us instead. Oh, great. The whole mansion's starting to shift around. Shit's going real now. An image that lasts only about a second before blood seeps into the room. Filtering into the walls, trickling from every nook and cranny. Everywhere, furniture shakes and every beam rattles. Before we can even step back from the horror gradually unfolding in front of us, the door is slammed shut. A loud thud bringing in a sense of dread and chill creeping up in each of us. Along with it is another realization. The whole place is reordering itself. And with the door closed tight behind us, showing no signs of budging, even through sheer force, there's no choice but to go forward and hope to all gods that it will lead us to an exit. Until then, running's the only thing we can do, spurred by nothing but fear and a sense of desperation to live.
It's useless, Ashton and Frey.
Oh, God. But with each room we pass, it only becomes apparent that the house has no intention of letting us leave. Oh, you think? It lured all of us here, and we've fallen for it. Now it's playing a little game with us, a sordid form of amusement. For whom? Their laughters are the only thing we can hear. With every hall we cross and door we slide open, the hope of finding an exit merely dwindles. The gun at my hip is useless here. I'm useless here. Some fucking genius I am. Some fucking person to trust I am. All of those, they mean nothing in the face of the unknown.
You finally figured it out. Huh, Ashton Frey. Just give it up.
They will eventually die because of you. Sorry, that was my ghost voice.
And you are going to die alone.
Shut your fucking mouth.
That was exactly what I was about to say.
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it.
You've told me this already. That's why I'm telling you to shut up.
You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to save anyone.
The more gruesome the place turns, the bleaker our chances simply get. Wails and screams fill our ears as we pass by. Words from a time and people long gone, laced with nothing but pure agony, calling out, reaching to us. Their voices almost too real, as if we're not the only ones trapped here. That there are others begging for release from this wretched place. Or maybe it's all just a show. A taste of what we will eventually be. Souls forever held captive in a never-ending nightmare.
Mother. I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please. I can still hear her. She's here.
I swear that sounds like Hannah.
Help me! Help me, please!
Is this what the curse is? What it means for all of us? That the letter not a morbid cry for help, but an invitation? A beckoning for unsuspecting souls to be dragged into this place's horrors? To be put under centuries and centuries of torment and agony? Suddenly dying a painful death seems preferable, enticing than ending up here, living a tortured existence. Or perhaps it's all the same. Still, hope worms its way into me. Not a usual thing for someone like me. But after going through countless doors and corridors, every little sign of hope I'm willing to cling to. As long as it'll get us out of here. We're back in the dining room again. How long have we been running? How long since we've left the kitchen? At some point I've lost track of time. With the windows barred tight and the sounds lifting in the air, nothing but shouts and shrieks, it's impossible to tell. Not that it matters when an end is in sight. Shelves and furnishings bar the door, each stained with blood and gore. That if the situation isn't as desperate as it is, I'll find a different way out. But there's still a gap left at the topmost part for a person to go through, as long as you use the shelves to climb.
It's next, all right.
Why does it feel like a freaking trap? From here I can spy the familiar walls of the foyer. Relief. Only relief washes over me. Although my legs have been strained taut by all that running, and every bone and muscle in my body ache, there's only an easing. Sense of tension relieving while energy backflows through me again at the sight of an end. No sooner, I'm leading us out of it. Zach helps McCullough first, assisting her up and through the gap, before giving a hand to Isabella. The moment the ladies are in, I nod for him to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
Surprisingly, he does that without any protests. Not that there's any need to. Sometime after entering this room, the whole place has calmed down. No wails, no whispers, just a silence too deafening. But I'm not letting my guard down until everyone's on the other side of this nightmare safe. For all I know, this may just be a calm before another storm. Without further incident, however, Zach makes it to the other side, and I'm following after him. However odd this hush is, I turn my back from it and climb up. It's a tight fit, but I manage to squeeze myself in. The unease remains, though. Maybe it's the adrenaline still coursing through me, or how easy everything has been after living through that nightmare, fleeting as it is. Exactly, this is too simple. But for some reason, something's still nagging at me. Call it a detective's instinct, or my training, or whatnot. I'd call it common sense. I have a feeling something's going to happen and catch us unprepared. Unconsciously, before dropping down on the better side of this dream, my hand shifts to the gun at my hip. Instinct has never failed me before. We're in the foyer. My feet haven't even landed firmly on the floor when...
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two.
Luke Wright?
People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it? I feel so left out.
A chill seeps into every vein in my body. All of a sudden, every ache, every pain returns to me tenfold, and my knees threaten to buckle at the sound of his voice. Though it appears friendly, I know it's anything but. One doesn't spend investigating a man like him for over a year and holding a grudge against him for more, without knowing everything about him. His quirks, his habits, I'm familiar with all of them. And right now, Luke fucking Wright is beyond pissed. Shifting my gaze upwards is nearly too painful, knowing the danger. Not to me, but to those who have been lured in here by the curse. Oh god, he's got a gun. The handgun catches my eyes first, next to that smarmy smile on his face while he holds McCullough, Zack, and Isabella at gunpoint. It's sight, enough to lodge a painful thorn up my throat. I've been too complacent, too focused on other things that I've completely set aside the fact that Scumbag will not be too pleased to see us here without knowing our reasons. But even with those good intentions, curses, and ghostly apparitions aside, we're still trespassing in his home. The question is, if he's even aware that the whole of his household has somehow disappeared and he might be the only one here. Likely not. Fuck. Even with people he knows among the crowd, there's a significant effort in him not to simply shoot everyone in sight.
And really, Lily, even you.
Sir, this isn't what you're thinking. Something's going on in this mansion.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
We're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you.
Damn it, if only Becca was here.
But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
Casually, he waves the handgun at them as if it's just a mere toy and his words are no threat. The safety's off on his. Nothing's stopping him from pushing through with his words. Call me paranoid, but with a slight gesture, I draw my own and level it at him, finger on the trigger and ready to release the safety catch in case things go south. Oh god, here we go. Oh boy. It's all come to this. There's a ghost in this friggin' house, Luke. I don't even know is he possessed right now? Like, we've seen that shadow on him before, but I can't see anything now. After a long, desperate run in search of a way out, the house calmed down for some reason. An exit was finally in sight. Waiting on the other side, however, is Luke frickin' Wright, a scumbag. He's quick to train his own on me, though, and just like that, we're at a standstill.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall.
Oh god.
You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Shooting him right now will be so worth it, with the way he stares at me like I'm a damn pest. But this isn't what I've come here for. I'm not a murderer. As much as I loathe him, I'm not the kind who will kill people in cold blood for my own gain or amusement. The law will bring him what he deserves one of these days. At the moment, however, we're all in the same boat with this curse, and he needs to understand that. The longer we stand here, the more time we're wasting and losing, something we don't have much of. But how can I convince him? This scum is so full of himself, prefers to hear the sound of his own voice more than those of the people around him, no matter how much sense they make. Probably the only way I can make him listen is if I beg. No way in hell that's happening. Maybe I should eliminate the immediate danger first and disarm him? Oh, I don't know. Beg him to listen, disarm him. Will he listen to me? Surely he's seen some things, right? Like, will he listen? Disarming him is dangerous. We could get someone killed. What if Ashton can't do it? What if we fail? Will he shoot? I'm just gonna beg him to listen. Throw our ego aside. He needs to understand we're in trouble here. My life's not the only one at risk here, however. Exactly. We have to think about the others still alive. There's Zack. There's Isabella. McCullough's here as well. We're all unknowing victims to this fucking curse. I'm in no position to pick who to save and who I should simply let die. I suppose my pride can take a few hits, and I can set aside my beef with this asshole. Taking a deep breath, slowly, I lower my pistol. Though still on the edge and ready, in case he does something, I do my best to assume a less aggressive stance. Okay, I can't see a shadow around him, he's clearly not possessed right now.
Listen, Wright, I need you to...
Swallow your pride.
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
Suddenly he laughs, almost howling in fact, like I've just told him the best joke he's heard all his life. The only thing missing is for him to keel over and start rolling around on the floor, literally ruffling. All while I do my best not to sock him with the sorry end of my pistol.
You have guts, Feathers. You have guts. Did you hear what you just told me? You've just threatened me inside my own house. My own home. You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
He's right on that, at least. I might have ended up like him. If I didn't have Professor Andrew, Rebecca, Zach, and Isabella, one mistake and it would have been too late for me. With his laughter rings all of those possibilities I could have lived. But I've never been given the choice. All because I have other people with me. People who care. A sobering realization. But not so much when suddenly his chuckling stops. In 2 heartbeats, he marches towards me, grabs my collar, and aims his gun right at my head.
Ashton!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
At this distance, a slight flick of that finger on the trigger and we'll be able to do more than kill me.
What is it that you people really want with me?
Saving your life!
This is the second time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me, or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick, if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
I keep my eyes trained on him, in spite of the huge threat he poses right now, because if there's anything people like him, like us, prefer, it's honesty. You don't give that impression without keeping a solid eye contact.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, Wright. You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Why, you insolent!
His finger moves, but I'm prepared, my hand ready to reach up, disarm him, and knock him out. If I have to drag him out of this place unconscious, to keep him from suffering the fates of every other person who's died from this curse, so be it. However, before either of us can fire a shot or tackle the other to the ground, another voice echoes throughout the foyer. A small little thing compared to the storm raging outside. It rings above it, nevertheless, causing all of us to stop and turn. Oh God. At the top of the staircase, Hannah Wright stands. To make matters worse, that thing's behind her, menacing, a rotting hand wrapped firmly around her neck. She looks like death. Pale and shaky, eyes red with tears, we nearly don't hear her as she pleads.
Luke, help me. Please.
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes and a clap of thunder ripples across the sky, as if this whole thing can't get any more foobar than it already is. In Death's grip, oh dear. Oh God, what's going on? Oh boy. What's happening? What's happening? Journal! 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 So many pages! In spite of the danger Luke Wright posed at the moment, Ashton lowered his gun and assumed an imploring tone towards the man he hated. Amidst the tense air, a voice suddenly echoed in the foyer. There at the top of the grand staircase stood Hannah Wright. No way, is this the end of Luke's chapter? I mean... Oh, it's the end of Ashton's chapter. We're starting Luke's one. Oh my God, why? Wait, are we carrying straight on, or are we going back in time again? Oh my God. No, that's such a bad time. Anyway. Okay. Let's take a breather. That's so intense right now. Okay. Luke, Mitchell, Lucille. Oh boy. If only anyone knew. Lucille Mitchell Luke Wright. Birth date, August 2, he's a Leo, 31 years old, he's 5'8", president and CEO, he's British, he's an atheist, raised Anglican, he's a high school dropout, privately tutored, likes bread pudding, dogs, wine and absinthe, piano playing, daffodils, money, woman and power. Oh my, a prostitute's son. He spent his childhood roaming the streets, begging or pickpocketing in order to avoid home. Home meant a too-drunk mother and her equally drunk clients, some of who would take to beating the child out of anger, if he so much as looked at them wrong. That meant he was always in trouble, in one form or another. Nothing was done to correct it until, in a sober moment, his mother found out about the abuse and promised to take better care of her son. Luke was happy for a while, but his mother's bad habits led to an early grave and left him orphaned until his biological father, a businessman with no legitimate heir, sought him out. He was trained to inherit Wright Enterprise, but along the way got mixed up with illegal activities. That put the company in a bad spot after his assistant ran off with a large sum of dirty money. Bankruptcy would have been inevitable if he hadn't married Hannah. Okay, so he married Hannah. I don't know whether he ever loved her, but he did it to escape bankruptcy. And he has been dealing with illegal activities, so Ashton is correct in that sense, but we don't have any proof. Anyway, here we go. Luke's chapter. Whew. To say that I'm scared of what's happening is a gross understatement. Trouble of any sort is the last thing I want to get home to after a long day at work and a trip to the bar. And when I see Hannah near prostrate, I can only feel dread. She twitches and seizes, body wound and coiled tight before trashing, shuddering and shaking. Like a woman possessed, her mouth falls open, and her eyes roll to the back of her head. It has the hallmark signs of a seizure. The symptoms are similar enough. And that knowledge, the fact that I know this, only makes me feel worse. Any anger I had caused by a disagreement on parting ways, no matter how temporary she claimed it to be, disappeared. The alcohol-induced daze that I felt was brushed aside as I run to help her. None of that mattered at the moment. Oh, okay, so this is, when was it? Saturday? So yeah, we're not continuing straight off from where we were. Is it Saturday? Yeah, it was Hannah. Yeah, the talk got interrupted. That's when she made the discussion to leave Luke. I know this is wrong, that I'm not supposed to hold her down, yet I do it out of instinct, reflex even. I'm terrified of hurting her, but I see no other way to keep Hannah from hurting herself. It takes a lot to keep myself from running off to get help when she needs me here, and it takes everything I have to keep myself intact. When she says my name, I realize that the seizures have stopped, but that doesn't make the dread go away.
Luke, please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I am so sorry.
I wish I could do Luke's voice, but I can't. The sight of her tear-streaked face is enough to twist the knife in. It doesn't help that I'm as lost as she is right now, and all I can say is...
Shh, it's alright. You're safe now, Hannah. You're safe now.
It takes a bit to go through the house with my inebriated self. That's even made worse by the fact that I had to carry a nearly unconscious person around as well. I was about to give up too, up until Schrocken shows up to lighten the load. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. He quietly takes her from me without question and brings her up to the bedroom. And me? Well, I couldn't bring myself to follow. Not right now. Not while I'm drunk and rattled by what had transpired. It's a miracle I was able to help at all. So here I am, sulking in a parlour chair with a glass of wine in hand. I can't even remember what particular vintage it is, and I practically didn't care right now.
Because when you're already drunk and still have problems, even more alcohol should help.
Oh god, I love Luke Wright so much. Of course, the butler chooses now to appear and be unhelpful.
You know what actually solves all problems? Death. But it is not recommended.
That's lovely, Johannes. Thank you so much for cheering us up.
Alcohol isn't a true solution either.
I mean, he's wrong. He's not wrong, but like, come on. Is that what we want to hear right now?
It's worked well enough for me.
I like to believe that I get my best ideas while I'm thoroughly hammered. Not everyone might agree, but they can't really do anything about it, can they? With a fuck ton of money comes great power. Sometimes responsibility. And with that responsibility comes a lot of reasons to get drunk. Of course, I can just tell responsibility to sod off if I was feeling reckless. And Christ, I must be really drunk if I'm thinking in circles. I wish I could do Luke's voice, like I really wish I could. I just need something to focus on and I should be fine.
How is she? Is she alright?
If panic crept into my voice at the question, I don't let it show. It would be a show of weakness to be so frazzled, to show so much concern over a woman who's going to put me aside. People like him who work for me, I trust with business but not with myself. Never with that. Only Hannah has come so close. Only she has truly seen the man beneath the facade. Only her actions can wound me so.
Sleeping.
Can wound me so.
Aside from a few bumps and bruises, she seems to be fine. A maid is watching over her for now. It is best not to leave her alone. But, if I may ask, what happened? I was in the gardens when I heard screaming. Did you...
No, it wasn't me.
I'm quick to be on the defensive. I may be capable of a lot of horrible things, but I would never harm her, of all people. No matter how angry I might become. I would never lay a hand on her to hurt her.
I didn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything like that. I don't even have a reason to.
I actually believe him. I do think that he loves Hannah. He just feels that she's way better than him, I guess.
You don't consider her wanting to be a part as reason?
It is. Well, it is. I don't want to talk about it right now. But what happened was I got home. She was seasoned in the kitchens. Is she ill?
Not that kind of doctor. But I've already scheduled your physician for a house call tomorrow morning. We'll still have to monitor her as soon as she wakes up and...
Oh god. Things are coming back to me. I need a drink.
Really? You're still drinking?
Why, yes, it seems to be the bloody best time to be drinking. I'm allowed, aren't I? After all, I've just found my wife having a seizure and I shouldn't give two shits about it. Not when she's about to leave me.
But I do. Goodness, I do. A big generous gulp just makes it so that the taste of cherries, raspberries, and strawberries wash over my tongue. The thing too sweet, considering its deceptively earthy aroma. A Veln's vineyard, seasoned red, isn't really something to scoff at. I've had many good memories with this particular drink. This particular bottle, in fact, was a gift. It serves the purpose Lady Blairnot had given it to me for. To forget. All the same, whether I took this bottle or a Pinot Noir, it's just a means to an end. I'll probably have to finish the whole bottle to get drunker than I already am.
But no, she doesn't need to be taken care of. If she wants her time apart, she'll have it.
See, he just covers it all up. I don't know why he does this. It'll break my heart to just let her go, but she deserves this much, doesn't she? We both deserve this much. See, he's punishing himself. That's sad.
She's had her uses.
But he talks like this, and like, why? She's done a lot for me in the 7 years we've been together. I pursued her at first for the money. It was supposed to be strictly business. There might have been a time, too, when I considered taking her out of the picture so that I can do with the money as I pleased. Well, great. I'd planned to manipulate her, and I feel horrible thinking about it. But along the way, I changed, if only for her. Perhaps my father would scoff, tell me I've gone soft. Maybe I have. Does it matter? 7 long years. It's had its up and downs, and it certainly hasn't been a perfect marriage. We had our fights. Who hasn't? But those small moments where we could just laugh and be our happy selves were always magical. They made all these years worth it, and I'd seen so many more years to come. So where did I go wrong? I've loved only 2 women in my life. Mother dear, bless her soul, and Hannah, who's been my sunshine for so long. Losing her, I fear that I might become more like my father. Had Damien Wright stayed with Mother or any of the other numerous women he's had a child with, would he have been less of an embittered shell of a man? Would having a darling love in his life made him a better person? Perhaps it's a bias of me to doubt so. I don't think I can ever see the old man in a favorable light.
I'm just surprised that you're not afraid. She might be leaving with delicate information.
Oh, she might know something. But if she hasn't done anything with the knowledge for this long, I don't think she would do anything now. If she had even an inkling of what I've done, what I'm capable of, she'll know it's not a good idea. Hannah's a smart woman.
Smart, kind, hard-working, generous, loyal. I can go on and wax poetic about her if I had any talent with this stuff.
Why don't you sit down and have a drink with me? Don't worry, it's not poisoned or anything.
If I saw that look on his face, I would turn it down immediately.
Lonely? Oh, I suppose there's no harm.
With a shake of my head, I procure another glass and pour some of the red wine. Watching the red liquid is fascinating all on its own, with my muddled brain, that I barely notice sloshing some of it and staining my suit. It'll be another bugger to clean, so I'm glad that it isn't my problem. Handing it over, I can't help but look up at the ceiling and let out a sigh. My eyes, damp, glaze over, though I won't let it go further than that. Raising my own glass for a toast, I clear my throat.
We drink to... Do we really need a reason to? The world is messed up. War, terrorism, famine, poverty, loved ones and love lost. The world is a cesspool. Might as well be drunk if we're going to drown in it.
A bit less eloquent than your usual speeches, but zum Wohl.
A sip. A gulp. Refill. Rinse and repeat until the bottle of Veln is barely a fifth left. I must have drunk most of it because I can barely see Shrogan take a sip after his first glass. It certainly feels that way. I don't even think I can stand up, let alone walk. I'm all legless. My mind just feels so funny, and everything else is equally hilarious. Bloody hell, I think I can make out faces of a bald man on the wallpapers. With the butler also standing up, he looks like a skyscraper from where I'm seated.
Jesus Christ, I have Sasquatch as a butler.
He's gone, bogus. I have a great alcohol tolerance, so this, seeing how I'm a giggling wreck right now, is, I assume, really bad. If there's any sober part left to me, it'd probably shrivel up and die just thinking of the hangover that'll come in the morning. But I can't help but get distracted at the sight of moonlight peeking through the curtains, shiny and shimmery and absolutely splendid. Even if the night has brought calm, it is the moon that has always enamored me so. It's a second sun, but just as beautiful as my sunshine.
I want to go out and look at the moon. Mommy, I can't feel my legs.
Mutter, I am not. Don't tell me I have to carry you upstairs to bed.
You know, Hana, she told that photo man that I was a trying husband. I can't even. The nerve of them, right? He goes and takes her out shopping, and they give me lip service in return. I bet they were talking shite while they were in the store spending my money. Am I a trying husband, Joe?
I wouldn't know. You're not my husband, are you? But you are a trying dumb cop when you are this drunk.
I didn't even do nothing. I did my best to behave decent. Whiskey and Mint are just good friends, that's all. And that Rochelle woman's baby isn't mine. I swear I couldn't love any other woman than Hana. I don't want Hana to leave me, Joe.
That's sad.
Oh God, she's the love of my life, you know? I'm a shy human being without her. I should... Flowers. Lots and lots of flowers. All of the flowers. Enough to make the Queen's Gardens look like a fucking dumpster fire in comparison.
All well and good, but you are not achieving any of that while you are lying on the carpet.
I thought your best ideas came when you were drunk, Luke.
Now, if you can lift your skinny ass and work with me. 1, 2, 3.
Go.
But I don't want to go to bed. The moon is so pretty tonight.
I should just let you sleep on the ground, Bratwurst.